Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Altar Call. I'm your host, Tane, here for this week's reality show, Ramble, where I ramble on and on about the things that I watched this week. And I'm going to be sharing a couple of shows with you today. But I also decided, listen, originally this is a MAFS, podcast, and I'm going to share some updates because it's been a minute since we talked MAFS. And just a reminder to you guys that if you want bonus episodes where I cover either documentaries or some shows or like 90 days, you can check that out on patreon.com/altarcall MAFS. A reminder that if you're trying to sign up using Apple, do it on a desktop so you don't get the extra fees that are incurred when you go through the app. And next week, I will have a bonus episode. We have a new season of 90 Day Fiancé. We'll be going over episode 1 and 2, just waiting for them to have all the couples together and sharing my thoughts on what I think about this new season, which based on just one episode, it was good. I enjoyed it and I can't wait to see what these crazies have for us for the rest of the season. On the regular feed, we have Love is Blind Poland. Second batch of episodes are up. Check it out because we got our first breakup. So far, so good with the season. Okay, something I don't really, my stats and things all the time. I just like yapping about reality TV. But the other day, I was looking for something and I happened to see that I had crossed over like 1 million downloads. And I don't know, I feel like I got a little emotional because who knew, like something that started so long ago. I started with 8, as y'all know, and then now doing this solo, having guests, like coming of their own free will and sharing their time. It's just, I get the opportunity to just talk about reality TV. And I don't know when it happened. I just saw that the numbers were over 1 million at that point. But whatever time it was that I crossed over 1 million downloads, cheers to that moment, I guess. So just wanted to thank you guys for rocking with me, for listening with me, for interacting, and just wanting to hear what I have to say about reality TV. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Okay, scripted TV. I'm trying so hard, guys, because I'm trying to watch things that are just not reality TV. So I force myself, I literally like carve out time so I can catch up. I'm very behind on my scripted TV. But the one thing that I am caught up on is Grey's Anatomy. I need a support group for people who are still watching the show. I cannot quit this show. It's been how many years? I think it's like a running gag, kind of like how House of Villains is insistent on having New York every season. Not complaining, great idea. I think ABC is like every season, everyone's like, okay, this is going to be the final season. And ABC is like, nah, we're going to ride these wheels till they fall off, except like it's never going to fall off. So I am caught up on Grey's Anatomy and it looks like Owen and Teddy are finally out. They're very not likable, but I gotta say, like when they did their montage, I was kind of sad. It's just like it's been a while since they've been on. And I'm very surprised they didn't kill them off, but here we are. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the show. I think the problem is like how we were invested in the characters. There's no characters that you're really actually like rooting for that you care what happens, but I don't know if it's because it's so long or because they're phoning it in now, but my dumb ass is still watching anyways, so there's that. I told you guys a couple of episodes ago about Imperfect Women. That's ended a couple of episodes ago. I don't want to spoil it, but they told us we found out who the murderer was. And it looks like, I didn't read the book, but it looks like they changed what happened on the TV show, and they changed, it was different from what happened in the book. So I don't know if it's for good or for better. If you read the book and watched the show, which do you prefer? But it only made sense. It looked like it was obvious. If you don't want to hear who the killer is, turn this off and fast forward, I guess, 10 seconds. But it turned out to be Howard. Like, he was the one who did it. And who else could it be? In the book, it was um n- who was it? Howard's son, I guess, was the one who did it. But which also makes sense, I guess, which would be the ones if you're trying to throw people for a loop. But I think I read an interview where the producer was like, at the end of the day, if your core is bad, he just, the bad guy ended up being the one who did it. I like how they wrapped it up. I really like how Kara Washington's character, because at some point her friend told her, like, stop inserting yourself in our families and face your own family. And then she's like, bet. And she just, stayed in her own lane and stayed with her family. So again, if you haven't watched it, go check it out on Apple TV. I did catch up on The Shy. Guys, this show gives me so much joy. It has so many errors and so many things like you could complain about. Loopholes, I think, is the word that I'm looking for, but it just gives me joy, so I just keep watching it over and over. But I fell off because, again, my scripted TV is suffering because of my reality TV. But the final season is finally coming up, and I was like, I have to watch the last season. It's coming next week, I believe it's coming back. So I forced myself and I caught up on The Shy, and it was so sad. There's a major we lose a major character on there, and it was really, really sad. But I'm caught up and I'm ready for the finale. So I'm gonna miss The Shy, and it had a good run on there. All right, let's switch into some MAFS updates. It's just a lot of baby announcements, I guess, is what most of this is. Jessica and Austin from the DC season are expecting baby number 3. Um, Josh from MAFS 19, Mr. Burning Man himself, is having a baby boy. When he posted the announcement inside the box, I think, everything was kind of blue. I missed it. I think someone pointed out to me that there was a Monster can and the energy drink in there. And I'm like, is this like, I don't know, was this a paid partnership? I don't know, but he's having a baby boy. had her baby. Michelle, Carla, Camille went to visit, and there's a picture of 4 of them together. Lily from the Miami season throwback also had her baby. Paige is engaged, as you may recall. She has 2 babies, 2 daughters, with her boyfriend, but she is engaged now. She engaged, or is she about to get married? I think she's engaged. I think she just got engaged. Guess who else is engaged? Madison and David from season 18 are engaged, and they had their engagement shoot. So, don't let a little thing like someone having a husband stop you from finding your true love. I'm kidding, guys. But these two are still hanging on together. Everyone thought they were just going to be to the reunion out of spite and to prove everyone wrong, but they are together. And speaking of season 18, that is now on Netflix. If you're listening to this and have never watched Married at First Sight, you can watch Married at First Sight. You don't have to go through what we went through with ads week to week for 6 months out of our lives. You can just binge it on Netflix. And if you're looking for a recap to listen to, just go right back on and look for the old episodes on Altar Call MAFS. And finally, it is kind of old news now, but Deanna and Greg moved to Portugal. So they're living their life there. They do have a YouTube channel, and they're sharing all their, daily life with us every now and then. And you can check that out too on YouTube. All right. What shows am I talking about today? Might be a long one. It might not be, because I'm just doing like highlights of the episodes that I've watched. I am going to talk about Perfect Match. I am going to talk about MasterChef Gauntlet, Southern Hospitality, Drag Race All Stars, Jersey Shore Vacation, and Top Chef. And as I'm saying this, I just remember that, we lost a real one on Survivor last episode. We knew it was coming. I've been saying it over and over. Most people have been saying it. We want Siri to win. We don't see how Siri wins. There are just people out there who are going to look at her and look like she cannot make it to final tribal. I cannot win over her. The only person that would have taken her was Ozzy, and Ozzy just messed it up out there for, for them. Who's to know? Who's to say? Nobody knows what could have happened, but we lost Rick Devens and we lost Siri. And Siri's final torch, it didn't really sound like this is the end, kind of like how Kobe's did, or even Ozzy. But I mean, I guess it is, but Devin's got me, with his speech and talking about the stars and you're just having so much fun. Like he brought a lot to the season. And I don't know. Either way, it just listen. I have an episode out with Jason. You can go check it out. We talked about the episode before the last one, and we just talked about what we thought the final three was gonna be, and it's really looking like it's gonna be Jonathan, Joe, and Aubrey. And the reason I say that, like even then, is like if I had my choice, I would want Tiffany there. I don't see how they keep Tiffany. There already word out there that she's a threat. So, I mean, she's likable. The rest of them that are there because they're goats. They're people that they don't think that the jury's going to vote for. So we are going to get this weird season that is great, is enjoyable, but just also drives me mad at the same time, is going to have a winner that reflects that, I believe. So I don't know. I don't know. Let me know, who are you rooting for to win? But also we see that the Sia money is coming back and someone's going to get 100,000, I believe. Who are you giving your money to? Everyone seems to think it's like a foregone conclusion that it's going to Suri. I do remember that on Big Brother, she did not win favorite house guest, and maybe it's a different fan base, but I don't know. I don't know. But let me know. I'm very interested to know who you would vote for to get that money. Okay, let's get into it. I'll start with perfect match. I didn't mention, even though I talked about a $1 million secret that ended, we have a winner. And I'm mentioning it now because the winner, Nick, is now on perfect match. I've only watched 2 episodes of perfect match. Um, he was really smart. He could suss things out. I wouldn't have minded if it was Caleb, but Caleb just didn't have that grit or edge by the end to take it all the way home. So congratulations to Nick. I now see also why everyone's like, will they, are they or are they not Nick and Yumiko? But maybe he can't say anything because of Perfect Match. Perfect Match just filmed so long, and I don't know why they keep it so long and they don't just air it within a reasonable amount of time. Again, last season, we saw how it was long enough for AD and Ollie to date, to get engaged, to get pregnant, and then get married by the time it all aired. Like, that's just such a long time. So in this case, we're watching Yemen, who may or may not be with Whitney at this point and has done Love Island, and it's just been a long time since it's aired. But this show always hits the spot for me. It hits the spot for me because it's so low stakes. It's so like Z list. Like it's just people. Listen, when we watch a show, we're like, oh, they're going to be a perfect match. Just people who are just like, I'm on TV and I'm just happy to be on TV. It's so unserious. And any show that brings people from different reality shows together, that is my jam. I mean, at some point, Nick Lachey is trying to be Mark L. Wahlberg from Temptation Island, and with a straight face, he told the cast that the power of comparison is how you know your perfect match. Basically, compare people. Like, is that even good advice? I don't know, but on Perfect Match, it's great advice. We do have one person who isn't a reality star. He's an influencer named Jimmy. Like, I don't know how he got cast. I'm always fascinated, kind of like how um what's his name, Nam, got on Traders. Whenever we have like a wild card casting, I'm always like, what was the conversation and what was it that convinced them to cast this person on a show? So I want to know. I don't know who Jimmy is, so maybe other people do, but I want to know how he got cast, because when Nick Lachey walked in, he was like, who's this? He cannot be for real, right? He has to know the premise of the show, but he does have some riz. All the girls love him, and yeah, there must have been something about him that they saw. They have a band of crazy people on here. Chris from Age of Attraction is just here to buy his love. Like, who gives someone a Louis Vuitton wallet on day one? Oh, love language is my gift. You just met them. What are you trying to do? And he doesn't stop telling us how much money he has. Like I said, it's weird seeing Yemen knowing he may or may not be with Whitney. I say that because with the Love Island cast, they get all hot and heavy when they leave because nothing is bigger than couple content. And then after that, they kind of cool off. So you never know, have they broken up? Have they not? And then when enough time has passed, they tell you that they decided to split. In their case, it'll probably be the distance or something like that. But it's so funny because as much as Yemen is on all these dating shows, he is on my list of people that I feel like they're not really looking to date. They're just talking about it. They're going through all the motions, but really they're not looking to date. All the people on that list are like Carl from Summer House, Platt Daddy from Welcome to Plattville. He's not giving I want to be in a romantic relationship, even though he's with something with yeah. I'm really enjoying Marissa from Love is Blind. She was in the DC season. I believe that was season 10. Or maybe that was Minnesota. Well, the DC season. She was on there. She's free. She's just having fun. And she's just, being herself. It was funny when she went into the drawing room and she was trying to bring someone. Damari's ex from Too Hot to Handle is on there. And she said it without saying anything. She was like, "Oh, she'll come in. She'll be my best friend. Like, there's a bunch of brunette and blondes around. Like, I'm just going to mix things up." Basically, saying it without saying it, like, I need another black woman in the house. I'm the only black woman and I need somebody around who there for me. So that was funny. Allie from Vanderpump Rules is there, and I don't think I have any words. Like Allie is the same Allie. Allie um is vapid harsh, maybe ditzy. I don't know. She's in her own world. She just says whatever. She's deep into astrology. It guides everything that she says, and it's always so random. But I, I guess people will find that interesting. She is having people. Who is it? Jimmy from Love is Blind is, as far as I'm concerned, pretending to like her because he wants to be in the house. And he's just like, half the time, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm just going along with it and I'm intrigued. So she's having the time of her life, though. And it's good to see her have the time of her life after everything that happened with James Kennedy. So good for her. We have representation from MAFS. I don't know what is happening here. When we had the challenge, our first representation from MAPS was from the UK, not from the US. And now we have Perfect Match, and our first representation is from MAPS Australia. We have people who are willing in the United States to do it. I had Brittany on the pod, and when I interviewed her, she said Perfect Match would be a show that she would love to be on. Why are we not getting people from MAPS? We are on Peacock now. Well, I mean, I have said it before that I don't think that the last season did had the splash that I was expecting it to have with Peacock, but again, maybe because it was produced with Lifetime in mind. But anyways, our representation is Dave from Maps Australia. His season was okay. He was a good guy when he was on there. It didn't work out because he wasn't really feeling his wife or match. The marriages in Maps Australia are not legally binding. He wasn't really feeling her, but he wasn't honest about it. They were hot and heavy, and towards the end, she could feel like something was off. And she liked him more than he liked her. So it took a lot of drawing it out of him that he wasn't really there to move forward with that. And the thing is, like, he's like a gentle giant. The man is like 6'6" or 6'5" or something, and he's like a just a bulk of a man, tattooed from head to toe. Like, okay, tattooed from neck to feet. And the thing about Australia is they're always very heavily tattooed. So he looks like he's a playboy, a bad boy, but he's not necessarily from what I've seen on TV. But he gets a huge side eye from me. He is moving horny so far on the show, and he's just going from woman to woman. And also, a 37-year-old man flying cross country for a dating show like this gets a huge side eye for me. I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. I don't know. So that's it for Perfect Match. Like I said, I've only watched 2 episodes. I am enjoying it. It looks like they're doing weekly drops on that. And we'll see. I do not remember the cast that is going to come in, but so far so good. It's fun. It's mindless TV. And I forget. Shout out to the listener who pointed out to me, like, have the bathing suits always been like this? There's literally more ass and it is not covering their ass. But I don't know. I'm a Love Island viewer, so I'm trained. To me, this is the norm. This is basically how it's always been. So Perfect Match is actually the one who's playing catch up. So let me know if you're watching Perfect Match. I will take a break and come back and talk about MasterChef Gauntlet. If you've ever felt stuck trying to lose weight, you're not alone. Enter Weight Loss by Hers. It's designed to support you in reaching your goals, and Hers now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen. Everything is 100% online through Hers. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit forhers.com/alter to get personalized, affordable care that gets you. That's forhers.com/ALTAR. Forhers.com/alter. Weight Loss by Hers is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information and restrictions, visit forhers.com.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Okay. MasterChef Gauntlet. I have not watched MasterChef in a while. I love cooking shows, but I was intrigued by this premise. This season, they have people from different continents that are coming to cook and representing their continent. They have Africa, the Americas, Asian Pacific, and Europe. I'm not quite sure why Australia is not on there. I mean, MasterChef Australia is also pretty big, like a big show. So, interesting. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. So I was a little disappointed because I was thinking that they were going to bring people from the shows from their actual country, like in that continent, and have them represent on the show here. But what they're doing is people in the diaspora just basically representing their heritage. So we have people from the United States that are just cooking food and choosing to represent that continent. Y'all know how proud I am of being Nigerian, also proud of being American. So I am rooting for Africa and the Americas. The hosts for this show, Chef Gordon Ramsay, Tiffany Derry, and Joe Bastianich. And, it's fun. The show is like Red Bull. I'm sure someone is out there hyping up the crowd and they're just like hyping and hyping the crowd. And it's fun to have the audience just be a part of it. And some of the audience members are people who are participating already. Just when it's not their turn, they're now in the audience just cheering other people on. But it also has to be nerve wracking when you have your family just waiting beside you by the stove, just counting down for you, saying you got this. And I don't know. It's too much. The camera's already on there. Everybody in there asking you questions. It feels like a lot of pressure, but it's also fun when they go in and present the food and then they come out, whether they get an apron. So at this point in the episodes that I've watched, they're trying to see if they can win an apron to go ahead and represent the show. And you have to have three yeses from the judge. So if one person says no, you are not, getting in at all. So it's just, it's sad sometimes where you see people who have all their hopes and then it gets dashed. And there's some people who are really hopeful and they get an apron and it's so like fun. There's a guy, one of the guys, he is representing Nigeria. He lives in Dallas and he says he got laid off, is in his finance job. And he did come in dressed up like he was going to his finance job. And for him to get his apron, Gordon Ramsay basically rips his shirt off and is like, follow your dream, like you want to cook, and, puts the apron on him. He literally comes out in like in his apron with no shirt because Gordon Ramsay has ripped his shirt off. So I wonder if he offered to pay for it. So stories like that are nice. As someone who's representing, I think, from her grandmother, like recipes who taught her to cook. So things like that. There was somebody else whose family member had competed before, and now she's here, and it's like, oh, you're just gonna go further than I did. So they are warm, heartwarming stories that are on there. We have Brittany, who is from Barbados. She says that she's a wrestler. And I don't know, it was like a bit, and she was wrestling with the judge Joe. And I think he took it a tad bit too far. And I was like, you're having too much fun. And you're just like actually wrestling this woman. Like, can you like play fight, like take it easy? But I do think he thinks she's cute though. So but she made it through there. So it's fun if you like cooking shows and you're looking to watch something different, even if you've never watched MasterChef. I think MasterChef Gauntlet has a good premise this season, and I would recommend you watch. Okay, let's go hop on over to Bravo with Southern Hospitality. This show is about wrapping up. I think Andy has already put the call for questions for the reunion, and it's the same old same. Emmy is sucking the life out of this show. I don't think I can see one more sobbing, one more hyperventilation as a response to a conversation. I don't understand why you just can't get it together. And if you know that you can't get it together, leave. Your fiance already left you on there. Um, and he's not supporting you, and he remains a punk for not being on the show to support her, because you know that there's all these things on here. You know that your fiance now, not girlfriend, is not strong enough to handle all this. So why? Why is Emmy on the show? Like, she doesn't need to be on the show. Why is she on there? She also seems very uncomfortable. So I don't know what her reasoning for being here is. Listen, they had that dinner. They're in the Dominican Republic. It's Michael's trip, showing them about his childhood. And he said he wore the fishnet, something about her walking all over him. I don't know. Was Michael's hard on her? Yes. But I feel like he's just had it up to here. Everyone's like, have a conversation, have a conversation. And what other conversation? You also cannot have a conversation with Emmy because it goes one way. She's not going to let you talk. She's going to cry. Then you're the bad guy. And then she turns around in the confessional and was like, what? I don't understand what they were saying. I just want to let this go. So she's not being honest in her conversation. So it has to be frustrating. But also, I don't know what's going on with Michael this season. Like, it's too much. Like, he's just borderline being mean, and I don't know what the issue is. Like, I'm not quite sure. I hope that he watches this season and recognizes that and not comes to the reunion and stand 10 toes down on it. But I hope he's not also going through anything behind the scenes. But I don't know. I don't understand his behavior this season. I don't know if the fan love got to his head or if he's dealing with something privately, but yelling at everyone is not the solution and is not a way to live life, you know? I am a bit surprised at this friends with benefits situation with TJ because my memory is failing me, guys. I feel like there was an issue on Michael's first season. I have a memory of him talking to TJ and saying he didn't feel comfortable or didn't like the way TJ approached him with something. So it's kind of all I think about every time I see that they're having a friends with benefits situation. Like, also, when did it start? What's happening? But then the whole Michael's having feelings when he's drunk, but unsure when he's sober, but upset when TJ is like, yeah, I don't think like we should go into anything serious anyways, because you're like you're newly out and you still want to live your life. You still want to go out there. Like, I don't want to hinder you. There's an age difference. And he seems unsure. He keeps saying, no, I didn't say that. But then he's upset with him in the confessionals that TJ is saying like he doesn't want to move forward with that. But I have to keep reminding myself that Michael's is just 24. So I don't know, still finding himself. Um, my brain just can't wrap around the fact that Maddie really is into Joe. I keep saying it that she's not really into him and they're gonna break up and he likes her more than she likes him. But this episode, honestly, I changed my tune a little bit. It really feels like she's into him. So I don't know. I don't know. What I see for them in my mind is like they'll last long enough for Joe to propose to her publicly, even if she said, I do not want you to propose to me publicly. I'm not ready for marriage. And he's going to do it when she's not ready in a way that she doesn't like. But guys, this episode, they're talking about the future. They're talking about kids. And who knows? We're watching a TV show and it's their real life. So, and I don't think Maddie would be with someone if she didn't really like them, right? So I don't know. And just as an aside, I have so much respect for Maddie because I always say that it's not easy to be sober and being on a sober journey on these shows and be on a reality show. Because listen, most of the premise, a lot of these people are drinking to oblivion. You have to live around that. They're your friends. It's everywhere that you go. And the fact that she was dealing with a lot health wise, last year, and she's still, holding strong and dealing with all of that, her anxiety and just staying strong. So kudos to her for all of that. And, I hope her DJ career actually goes off, even though there's a lot of competition now. Everybody is a DJ. Oh, wait, going back to the dinner, I could, I forget. There's Mia and Julia laughing when Emmy just started hyperventilating. I understand them. I was looking at her and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's almost like she was looking around like, hello guys, I'm crying. Someone end this, come to my rescue, come to my rescue. Like just have the conversation. Have the same vim that you have when you are in your confessionals. Like say it with your chest. This is exhausting, to watch. And also, who's the brunette girl that's part of the group now? She was sitting beside Emmy at the dinner. Who is she? Where did she come from? What is her name? What did I miss? With that. Um, I really like Brad's girlfriend, Julia. When she showed up and it was a surprise, I was just as happy as them when she showed up. Like, yay, happy to see you, Julia. To round out Southern hospitality, the scene with Grace Lily and Maddie was kind of heartbreaking because unfortunately I do believe Maddie. I do think that Grace Lily relapsed. I do think that the problem was she probably didn't want her bringing that up on camera. And Maddie is thinking like, listen, I have to hold you accountable. Like I can't like baby you and do this with you. I do think she relapsed, and I can't imagine how helpless it feels to see, your loved one go down a path and you can't do anything until they want it. I remember some episodes ago when Maddie says like she can't risk her own sobriety, and that's true. So, where is the line? Maddie's on a journey herself every day, and she is going to be on a journey till the day that she dies. And at what point do you choose yourself? Like you want to be a good friend, but if you see or if you recognize that this person is not ready yet, what do you do? So maybe keeping a distance is the the thing to do, and Grace Lily just needs to find, an actual sponsor or people that are better equipped to handle this situation. So I don't know. It's just a tough situation, and that's why it made me sad. And I really do hope that Grace Lily gets the help that she needs. But can I just say that the moment where they were talking about it not being true, and Maddie tells her side of the story, how she tucked her in bed, and Grace Lily's like she was watching the Osbournes. I was like, what a throwback. And Maddie's like, yes, I was watching it. He died that day. So I was just going back and watching old episodes. That made me laugh, and that was funny. And that's part of what makes this show great. So yeah, that's Southern Hospitality. Go check it out on Bravo. Oh, wait, I have two more things. What was that move by Emmy with Molly? Why did Emmy suddenly go to Molly and be like, oh, Michael's got you fired? And also, with everything that's happening that's settled, Molly, why do you care at this point? Even if he did, why you now suddenly, you don't believe Emmy for other things, but this particular one, you want to believe Emmy, you want to make a big thing out of it. So, I don't know. I don't know where this is going to go, but anything with Emmy spells chaos and it's not going to be good. Lake dating her twin is already weird. And when I say twin, it just, they look alike, guys. Like they could be at best cousins. I don't know, but they look alike. And is it fun to date someone who looks like you? Like, do you even, maybe the problem is like we see that they look alike, but they don't see that they look alike. But besides the fact that they look alike so much, the fact that they have matching tattoos that they did not get together, they both got it in Hawaii at different times. So we look alike. We have matching tattoos that we both got in Hawaii, the exact same thing. That's enough to freak me out. And I'll be like, we got to call it. Like, I don't know. That's it. There's nothing more to say about Lake. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know why she hates Mia. And Mia remains a goddess because no matter what happens, Mia is going to speak her truth. Like she actually spoke it out and told Michaels, like, if you're not going to come right out and say it, you have to be very direct. Say what you mean so she knows what we're doing and we can move forward with that. So, yeah. Okay, for real, that's it with Southern Hospitality. Drag Race All Stars is back. I said that I needed a break because it's just back to back and it's just feeding it to us and we don't get any space. But here I am. I am watching it. I'm still not a fan of this point system. I don't like it. I don't like this point system where they come in batches, then we have to pick. But this time, we're not having three people move on. It's just two people. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm really, really impressed by Dawn. Like, Dawn has had two wins in the two episodes that I've watched. And I'm like, wow, okay, Dawn. She looked great, like in her look, her runway look, in both episodes. I can't tell who's going to be the villain or who is the villain so far in this batch. Again, the two episodes that I watched, I can't tell if it's Dawn, if it's Morphine, or if it's Morgan Michaels, actually. So, and when I say villain, loosely, I say that very loosely. It's not like they're being like mean, like, was it not Jane Don't. I can't remember her name, but not like out there in your face. Um, but it's just throwing shade heavier than usual. Morgan Michaels is more like she's trying to self-produce and just like, oh, did you guys do the making an innocent statement that's not really innocent? Akaria looks so good. I am rooting for her, even though I don't think she can pull it off. I don't think, since it's just two people. I kind of think that Dawn and Morgan McMichaels have this on lock, and they're the two that are going to move forward. I don't know how Lockie made it to this batch, but good luck, sis. Like, you're fun. You're having a good time, and your confessionals are fun. So that's about it. But there's no way Lucky makes it. I could say the same for Mystique Summers. Now, I did not watch the Logo season, so this is very early. I think they're season 2. I am not familiar with her and Morgan Michaels. I can only assume that they were both cast because they had like a plotline fight in their season, and they're bringing them back. And they always have the OGs represent on All Stars, but Mystique is so out of her depth on here that I don't know. I don't know why they called her an all-star. It's not working. But yeah. Um well deserved win by Morgan Michaels because Tuli swept Dawn. I don't know if I have the right person, but this was a lip sync for the winner. But I think Rue made the right call for both lip syncs that I watched, which is rare because sometimes I'm like, huh, what are we doing here? But two episodes made the right calls. And something I wondered when I was watching the lip syncs is I've always wondered why they never have split screens during a lip sync. Maybe not the entirety of it all, but at least we can watch both of them at the same time, the same way that they're doing it. I get it that they want us to see the full stage and see how they own the stage, and maybe it's just not possible. The angles aren't possible on camera, but just a thought that I had, like, if we had a split screen, maybe we'll be able to see more and see both at the same time. And then people who don't even know the lip sync, we can tell and we can see it. But I'll be watching, even though I said I needed space because I lied. But that's it with Drag Race All Stars. Like I said, rooting for Akira, but I do think that this is Dawn and Morgan Michaels to lose. Gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Okay. We're back with Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Yes, the show is still on. Believe it or not, it is still on. This is their final season. I don't know what's going on. I'm kind of thinking that MTV is trying to let go of all the shows. They might move to Paramount Plus because Love and Hip Hop is also ending. Love and Hip Hop Miami is already on BET, or is it BET Plus? And Love and Hip Hop is also on MTV, and that's ending also. Jersey Shore Family Vacation. I don't know where the next season of The Challenge is going to be, but they're doing a final season. It's just amazing how they have stretched the show and how the cast members have been able to make it work. These people are rich, like they're living well, and they've somehow found a way to make Family Vacation work. They're traveling, they have families, but they're making it work, and it's still kind of fun to watch. I fell off the last two seasons, I believe. I was watching it, but because it was the last season, I came back and I'm giving it one last hurrah. And the whole gang is back. Like even Sammy's sweetheart is back, and Ronnie, because at some point Ronnie was away. Sammy wasn't part of the show, but they're all back on the show. And the whole thing is, centered around the first few episodes that I watched. Sammy being pregnant. Sammy has been on an IVF journey and she's finally pregnant. And she made this whole thing where she just wasn't going to tell them that she was pregnant, but she accidentally just spilled because that's what the whole thing they do. They can never keep secrets. They always tell each other and it always goes around the group really quickly. Um, at one of then she decided that she was going to keep the gender because Mike, one of his children, I think Mike has like four children now or three, and in their 1 year old birthday party she accidentally slipped. She was like, oh, I'm not going to say the gender, but she tells Angelina what the gender is and tells her to promise not to say anything. But at the party, at the same time, Angelina is still Angelina. Like, she has no filter. She's going to say whatever she wants to say. She has been married. We've watched her wedding. When I was still watching the show, watch her wedding on the show, watch her divorce, and then we watch her get engaged to another guy named Vinny. And then now she's single. And she tells them, like, hey, I might be pregnant. Who knows? Like, I got my period, and then it lasted for just hours, and then it left away. Their doctor, the description was the plastic surgeon of Angelina, Mike, and Jenny was there and was like, oh, what if it was implantation? What if you're pregnant? And she's like, what? I can't be. No, I'm not. It's not possible. And then she door dashes a pregnancy test to be brought to her at the birthday party. This is how ridiculous this show um, is. So but this is after earlier when they were going on some trip and Angelina was just telling him about her dating life, that she's sleeping with a bunch of people, but currently she's sleeping with one person, but it's not, it's unprotected. I think at some point she was told that she would have a hard time getting pregnant. So she's just kind of like threw caution to the wind, like, I'm not going to get pregnant anyways. But she also said that she bought sperm. She bought two vials because just in case she wanted to have a second one and wanted to do IVF, it would be from the same person. So hours later is now she's suspecting that she's pregnant. But she tells Sammy not to say anything, but minutes later she's with Mike and she's like, oh, I was spotting. I think I may be pregnant. I'm not sure, but it's not possible that I'm going to be pregnant. And she takes a pregnancy test and it reads pregnant. In fact, she takes a lot of pregnancy tests. She calls Sammy to the bathroom. Sammy's so happy for her. And it's like, she's my pregnancy buddy. This is where I'm confused. If she's pregnant at the same time as Sammy, even though Sammy's a few months along, Sammy has had her baby now, and Sammy's baby's like 9 months. But I don't think I've seen anything about Angelina having a baby. And the day the episode aired, there was a bunch of people, headlines just going out like, oh, Angelina announces her pregnancy, and that's it. So I don't know what the situation is, if something happened in between, because of course this was filmed a while back. So I'm not sure what that's about. I don't know. I don't know if I'm confused about something, but that's what I was thinking the whole time that I was watching it. Zach and Jenny are still together, and I mean, good for them. For those who don't know, Zach is much younger than Jenny. I didn't think that it was gonna last, but they are together. He throws her a 40th birthday party, and it's cute. It's at medieval times, and it's what she's always wanted. But they're going strong to the point where, you listen, she's directing a movie. She travels for work. She leaves the kids with him, and he handles everything, and it's just sweet. It's very nice to watch. Vinny's still single because he's too attached to his mom. He I don't know. I don't know if his mom handles him or treats him like her boyfriend and then he treats his mom like his girlfriend. Like, she's leaving back to back voicemails on him because he's pursuing comedy right now and he's in a hotel traveling, from city to city, and she just keeps calling. Are you okay? Are you safe? You're in a new neighborhood. And it's just, I don't know. I don't understand how this man who can get anyone is still single at this point. It has to be by choice. Nikki and Pauly D is still together, and I'm glad that she's back on the show after all people got so racist with her. And I'm happy for them. For anyone who watched him and Vinny's dating show, that's how they met, and it's a miracle. That's all I can say. You can Google the relationship between Pauly D and Nikki, but happy for them. They've been together for a while, and they're good. All right. Final show for today's episode is Top Chef. Y'all know I love me some Top Chef. And spoiler alert, I'm going to reveal who went home on the last episode. I am very highly upset that Duyen is gone. I hate that the cooks aren't cumulative because she was doing so great. She was on such a streak, and I get it. her fish was undercooked. You can't eat raw fish. I mean, you can, but you can't do anything about inedible food. But I was so upset that she was gone because I really thought that she was a front runner, and she just won all the fishy prizes. They went fishing and she won, like, a bunch of prizes on that. But it's sad to see her go. But they have some talented chefs left. So I think what I was going to do, or what I am going to do, is I'm just going to share my thoughts, high level thoughts on the remaining chefs. So we have Chef Lawrence. Lawrence is a front runner for sure. He has been having great cooks, but history has shown me that sometimes your great run can be cut at any time. But honestly, I think he's basically a shoe in for the final, if not being the winner. I have never been to Boston, but I plan on rectifying that. And when I do, I am going to visit his restaurant and see what all the hype is about. Jonathan, another good chef. And what I admire most about Jonathan is his confidence. He's the one who came in with his twin brother, and his twin brother has gone and didn't make it back from Last Chance Kitchen. But Jonathan is confident. Like, he just really trusts in his ability. He's not going to cower. He's not going to stay safe. He's just going to do what he wants to do. And as a viewer, maybe otherwise, he doesn't cross over the arrogance line. I don't know. His fellow chefs might disagree. I don't know. But for me, I really admire that about him. And I think it's, with his twin gone now, he also doesn't have the emotional burden of worrying about his twin. So he can really let loose and just really, like, go for it in this competition. Rhoda. I love me some Rhoda. I was shocked when she was eliminated earlier because, again, another person who was um a front runner. She was winning all of the things, and she came back from Last Chance Kitchen. And is this going to be another story like Kristen, who is now the host, where she was eliminated and she came back and she won the whole thing? So we'll see if that happens. It was hilarious in her confessional when she said she wants to win because it will serve as a consolation prize to her parents for not giving them grandkids. That was funny. Chef Anthony, I am rooting for Chef Anthony so hard. He is the last standing Black chef, and he's also from DC. I do plan to also check out his restaurant, but I think, like, he might be a dark horse. And that's not to say he's won a couple of things. He's won a couple of quick fires. He's won a couple of challenges. He's had a good run. He's never been in the bottom. So I really hope he makes it to the final. I think the problem is, like, the smaller the group gets, it's just harder. One little thing could just get you sent home. So you never know. But he has a chance. He has a very good chance. We have Seeger. I fully expect him to be gone next on the next episode, but stranger things have happened. Seeger's kind of here by default. He's been eliminated, and when he was eliminated, the somebody got medically disqualified, decided to go home. They offered it to her husband, and her husband's like, no, I have to be there with her. And then they were like, the last person eliminated was Seeger, so he made it. And let me correct that. They didn't offer it to Jen's husband. He was also the last person eliminated, but he was like, he was going to go home to be with his wife, which absolutely, that was the right thing to do. And I think it was really nice of them to offer that no matter what, Jen would be offered a position on Top Chef. I wonder if it'll be next season, but she just needed to really get her hand healed. Health is always first. Seeger is very chill, maybe too chill. He's just chill about things. Like, for him, it's like, it'll be okay. If I get eliminated, it's fine. If I win, that's also fine. Like, we'll just deal with it no matter what happens. And he's not intimidated, whether or not people like me are seeing him as not necessarily the top of the pack. That doesn't bother him. And I think that's a good thing, a good quality to have on this. But it can be good or bad, but it's not great TV, because if everyone was like a Seeger, it'll be pretty boring. So there's that. And then there's Sherry. Sherry has been in the middle all season, and I can understand that she's frustrated about it. But when I was making this list, guys, I forgot about Sherry. And I think that's exactly what it is. And it's not like she's even a forgettable person. I don't know what it is, but it's just, she's been even keel all season. She has had some cooks that were good, but she has not been at the top. But she's so confident about her cooks, but then the judges are like, it was just all right. So I don't know. I don't see her in the final though. So we'll see. If I had to rank, most likely to be in the finals, number 6 would be Seeger. Number 5 would be Sherry. Number 4 would be Anthony. Number 3 would be Jonathan. Number 2 would be Rhoda. And number 1 would be Lawrence. This may be confusing, but let me be clear. What I want is Anthony. And what I think, in terms of, I think I'm pretty sure that Lawrence is going to make it, and also 85% sure that Jonathan is going to make it. So I think it's like the final, who's going to be the third person that makes it to final 3. I think that Rhoda is a dark horse, like I said, maybe like Kristen's story. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's what I think is going to happen. I'm most likely to be in the finals. That's all I got this week, guys, for reality show Ramble. As always, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you'd like me to know my thoughts on any show, and let me know if you have any questions. Always happy to answer, always happy to interact with you guys. Please give me a 5-star rating on the podcast. It helps with visibility of the podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Stay subscribed so you don't miss out on any new episodes. And you can find me on social media at AltaCall MAFS, on Instagram, on X, on Threads, on Blue Sky. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.